As war breaks out in a small Colombian village, the inhabitants abandon their belongings and attempt to escape the conflict. Alma and Pedro Madrigal, a young couple leading the group, are intercepted by armed horsemen. Pedro tries to intervene to delay them, but is tragically killed. Alma, now alone with their 3 children, Julieta, Pepa, and Bruno, witnesses a miraculous event. The candle she was holding to light their way becomes infused with magic, creating a sanctuary surrounded by impenetrable mountains and providing the Madrigals with a casita, a technologically advanced home. The refugees establish a village in this secure place called Encanto. Protected by the Madrigal family, Encanto flourishes. Every child in the family possesses a supernatural ability. Julieta can heal injuries and sickness, Pepa can manipulate the weather based on her emotions, Bruno has ominous visions that cause him to isolate himself, Isabella can conjure blooming plants at her command, Luisa has extraordinary strength, Dolores has an exceptional sense of hearing, and Camilo has the power to transform his appearance. Mirabel, the only child without a gift, is frequently treated differently within the family. When the day arrives for Pepa's youngest son, Antonio, to receive his gift, fear grips the household. Everyone hopes that this time, the child will finally manifest his power. It's Mirabel who encourages the little boy to go through with the ceremony, and Antonio ultimately gains the ability to communicate with animals. The entire town celebrates the new arrival of his power, but despite her happiness for Antonio, Mirabel remains sad and disillusioned about never receiving a gift of her own. One night, Mirabel witnesses cracks appearing around the house and the flickering of the magical candle. However, when she tries to show it to the rest of the family, everything returns to normal, and they do not believe her. Mirabel later learns that Abuela is aware of the strange occurrences and is determined to save the magic. The following day, Mirabel inquires of her cousin Dolores whether she has any knowledge about the previous night's events. Madrigal, her older sister, admits to feeling overwhelmed and weakened by the pressure. Luisa reminds them of Bruno's past vision about the family's magic and suggests that Mirabel speak to him. Sneaking into Bruno's room, Mirabel uncovers crystals in the sand containing his vision, which reveal that she is the cause of the cracks in the house. As she exits the room, Luisa discloses that her powers are fading, and Abuela cautions Mirabel not to tell anyone, particularly Isabella, who is to be betrothed that evening to Mariano Guzman, an attractive young man from the village. Mirabel becomes curious about her uncle Bruno and begins to ask questions about him, but her family warns her not to talk about him. He has caused several issues with his visions, such as the one about Pepa and Felix's wedding that caused a storm on the day of the ceremony. Mirabel's father catches her with the crystals and discovers Bruno's vision. He instructs her not to reveal anything for the time being, but Dolores overhears the conversation and repeats it during dinner with Mariano's family. The dinner is ruined, and cracks reappear all over the house, with Mirabel being blamed for the incident. Mirabel then notices that rats are taking the crystals and discovers a hidden passage in the walls behind a painting, where she chases a masked figure. When she falls through the floor, the figure saves her and turns out to be Bruno. He had never actually left, but had been hiding in the walls because he still cares about his family and had nowhere else to go. Mirabel convinces him to have a new vision. Little Antonio then arrives and offers to use his room, as the rats have informed him of everything. Through the vision, they understand that Mirabel holds the power to save her family. To do this, she must apologize to Isabella for ruining her engagement. During a confrontation, Isabella reveals that she never wanted to marry Mariano and was only doing so for the family's sake. She explains that she feels obligated to be perfect and that her engagement was just another aspect of that. The sisters reconcile, and Isabella embraces her true self by creating wild, exotic, and carnivorous plants for the first time. As they embrace, the house seems to heal, fulfilling Bruno's vision. However, Abuela accuses Mirabel of causing the family's suffering due to her lack of gift. Mirabel is tired of being mistreated and tells Abuela that her pursuit of perfection and the pressure she puts on the family is what has been hurting the family and the magic. As the house starts to crumble, Mirabel tries to shield her family from harm. However, the magic is fading, and one by one, everyone loses their powers. Mirabel attempts to retrieve the candle, but it flickers out of existence before she can reach it. The casita uses the last of its magic to shield them from harm before collapsing completely. Devastated and consumed with guilt, Mirabel flees to the river, where Abuela finds her. Abuela confesses that she is to blame for the family's troubles and that she forgot that their strength came from being together. Mirabel understands that Abuela had to rebuild and safeguard her family alone, and it must have been challenging for her. They reconcile just as Bruno appears. Bruno reconciles with the family, who decide to rebuild the house together. The people of Encanto offer their assistance. Once the house is repaired, Mirabel is entrusted with putting the handle on the front door, which brings the casita back to life. Everyone recovers their powers and is now free to use them as they wish. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this animated movie and found it entertaining. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more animated movies like this. I put a lot of effort into creating these animations, so your support means a lot to me. If you have any feedback or suggestions for future animations, please leave a comment below. Once again, thank you for watching and I look forward to sharing more animated movies with you soon.